Hi guys, what is going on? In today's video we're going to be starting what I'm going to class as the new player series. Not only just for new players, but I think new players are going to benefit from it a lot going over the next few weeks when it comes to the videos that I want to be bringing out. Not only will I be bringing out these videos, there will be other videos in the mix for you veteran players, but I think that there's a lot of new players still coming to the game. There's a lot of questions that I get asked, not just for Necro but for other bits and bobs in the game, which I think if I can explain in the simplest of terms, hopefully that will be able to help people going through their venture into Diablo Immortal. But today's video is going to pretty much be about you as a Necromancer. If you're just starting the game, what skills you want to be taking as you're going up through that 1 to 60 progress, as well as what to do once you hit kind of level 60 with your builds and what you should be aiming for to progress into the higher paragons. It's going to be focused all on gear and builds, this one, and then other episodes as we go on will be focused on other things. Obviously I'm going to be using my main character, guys, so if you are new to the game, take no notice of my paragon level, which is 1019. That means nothing to you at this moment in time. And obviously other things what you'll see when I show you my gear, you'll see it's got this 30 and 23s and that underneath it. Take no notice of that. We will be explaining that in another video. If you're just starting Necro, you just got into the game and you're thinking, what do I need to do? My kind of guide for you is to follow the storyline, progress through the storyline, and then the skills you want to be looking to get as you're progressing as a new player and you're going through. It's definitely going to be this sort of setup. So early on, you're going to be able to obviously pick your primary skill. Early on, you can choose either one of these, but I personally think that you're best off probably choosing Soulfire, because it does a little bit of AoE damage as well. So pick Soulfire. But then you're going to be able to choose bone armor, which in itself is going to protect you. You know, the base one here protects you and nearby allies with a shield, which is going to protect you for damage for 12 seconds, which is really, really strong. As you progress further, you unlock what you've got like command skeletons, which is going to give you an army of skeletons which can do damage and protect you from mobs, because they're going to be doing damage to them and get the focus. You're going to be wanting to pick mage as soon as you obviously get to this stage. These are going to be able to provide much more damage going forward and obviously focus on them instead of focusing on you. And then last but not least, as you progress even further, you're going to be able to get command golem, which is going to give this massive bone golem to start with. It's going to be able to do damage and take damage, stun enemies. It's going to be great for overall defense of your character. But all of these summons are going to be defending you and dealing damage for you while you're sitting there shooting out your soulfires. That is kind of the build that I think you should aim for. Obviously, as you're going through the leveling process, guys, from 1 to 60, test out these other builds, test out other skills, see what they feel like. There's plenty here to choose from that you can use as you're leveling. But I think as you get to that end kind of process towards the level 60 mark, definitely focus on getting your summons, because that's what we're going to be using as you progress into the next kind of area, which is level 60 up until Hell 2. Obviously, as a new player, you're going to be thinking, what's he talking about? Hell 2. So Hell 2 basically is the difficulties as you progress. You start off in normal, the 1 to 60 kind of area. And then you go into Hell 1, which is going to be Paragon leveling, which is increased levels above level 60. And that goes from 0 to 133. Hell 2, as soon as you unlock that, you go from Paragon on level 100 to 233. But you can get into these difficulties much sooner than going in from when it's just that Paragon. So you can actually go in and you can say what we class as pre-farm, even though you won't be pre-farming because you'll just be smashing through this content really quickly. But the next build we're going to go over is basically going to be the one that I've currently got equipped. So equipped at this moment in time, I've only got 6 pieces of gear on my main legendary slots and 6 pieces on my green slots. Green slots we'll go over as well, because I think I can tell you how to acquire these and what ones you should be aiming to get as you progress from the kind of normal leveling into like a Hell 2 kind of build. There's lots of things you're going to be trying as you're leveling up, different pieces of gear. But I think as you get towards the end of Hell 2, this is really what you should be aiming to get as early as you possibly can with your essences and your gear pieces. So for your helm, you want to be going with the Meretricious, because this one here basically gives your skeletons a ranged ability. So it takes them out of the forefront, but these skeletons, when they do this AoE from the archers, they do so much damage early on. Really, really strong. If you can get this one really early on in your leveling process from level kind of 60 upwards, because all of this gear here you can get from level 60 upwards, you're going to be laughing, because this is going to be giving you a much damage increase. Then you're going to be wanting to go with something like Flickering Warmth. Now this one could be changed for Parting Gift. Parting Gift will give you a defensive of a bone armor. This one actually doesn't, because this one just gives you more damage. It summons these bone armors that kind of go around you. So if I press bone armor now, you can see it spins around you, and they do a bit of AoE damage to mobs that are coming in towards you. So it doesn't necessarily give you a debuff, but it just surrounds you by these, or a buff, it just surrounds you by these 3 death fires, which will do damage to enemies. And you can pretty much keep that up a lot of the time. But that one there is called, if we go back into it, Flickering Warmth. And it does really good damage. They orbit you, you can keep up a lot of the time. It gives bone armor increase in damage, but if you feel you're taking too much damage, then swap to the gear piece Parting Gift. Shoulders, you're going to be taking Synod's Anointing, and now this one allows you to summon more mages. So you'll be able to have an increased amount of mages that you can summon. So you're going to be able to summon 2 at a time, and guess what? That's going to increase your damage, because you can do more output with 2 mages than you can 1. Then you're going to be taking a Graven Bulwark. This is going to increase the duration of your bone armor. This would be used whether you're using Flickering Warmth or Parting Gift. So bear that in mind, guys. Then the main hand you're going to be taking is for the Fire Golem. This one does AoE around it, which continuously burns enemies that is around. So it's really good at clearing mobs. Basically, you're using it for their AoE. It also stuns mobs as well, so it's going to protect you a little bit and take the brunt of damage that you could possibly take yourself. And then the cool thing about the next piece is Dominance from Dust. Is basically your golems, when it dies or it kind of runs out of timer, it splits into 2 smaller golems which do exactly the same thing. So it's going to split your fire golem into 2 smaller fire golems, and obviously you will then have more golems up all of the time doing damage. Really good leveling build to get you into Hell 2 and above, you know. There will be another build that I'm going to show you next, but first of all, I just want to show you the green sets. Now, green sets, guys, if you're new to the game, you get green sets from doing dungeons, normal dungeons. You can do that solo, or you can do that as a party. I think to start with, you're probably doing it solo most of the time as you're going through the leveling process, but it is still possible to acquire these green pieces. Now, you can pretty much equip any green piece you want with this gear set from your legendary gear, because really your green sets are just going to be looking at increasing your combat rating. If you get an increase in combat rating, equip it. It's going to give you much more benefit to focus on that than it is trying to get set pieces that match. But if you do end up getting matching set pieces, you really want to go for something that's going to be like this 2-piece Vifu's Urges to increase the beneficial effects on you. So any beneficial effect that you gain from anything you're going to be using, whether that be essences, your gear, or any legendary gems, which we'll talk about in another video, then you'll be able to increase that beneficial effect duration. The next things that you should go for, if you can, bearing in mind if you get better CR and break this 4-piece set, it doesn't matter, take the CR. But this one increases your summons damage by 15% if you have 2 pieces of shepherds, and it also increases your critical hit chance by 3% for each summon you have up to a maximum of 18% if you have the 4-piece. So you can see the benefit there, but I think CR sometimes will far outweigh everything else, because CR will give you far more progress, guys. Now this next setup will get you from Hell 2 into Hell 3, and there's only 2 differences. The differences is Pierce Hammer, because you open up these 2 extra slots as you get into Hell 2. Now, you want to be taking this one simply because it's going to increase the damage your skeletons do. The other piece is Vesper Guard. This here is going to be, your mage is going to shoot continuous rays at enemies. Now this one can be swapped for something else. Let me just equip this one. You'll probably see a load of gems go on in a second, or maybe you won't. Hopefully you won't. You didn't. Good. Now, Vesper Guard here is a really good ability. So if I show you what this Vesper Guard does, if I put one out, it will continuously shoot that target like that, and it's really strong as a continuous beam. Any enemy that goes in that beam is going to be taken down, so the AoE is huge. Now the other one you could potentially go for in here as between Hell 2 and Hell 3 would be Twin Vestige. It can obviously empower your mages to use a bone spell. Is also a very good one. So once you get up to Hell 2 level, look for these 2 extra pieces of gear and equip them, because they're going to be really, really beneficial for your progress towards Hell 3. Once you get to Hell 3 though, guys, you're probably thinking, well, what build should I work on to progress Hell 3 onwards? Now that goes over to the famous Lightning build. The Lightning build is still really, really strong. People ask me about it all the time when it comes to a leveling build. So this one is for Hell 3 plus. Let's equip it and take you through it. So, Hell 3 plus then, guys. Basically, it's a full Lightning build. Once you are able to acquire these pieces of gear, this is what you'll be using until you're able to get the full end game builds, which you will obviously see on my channel, and I'll link them in the description. You will be using this until you're able to get the full dungeon build. You'll be using this until you'll be able to get the full raid build. You'll be using this until you'll be able to get the full PvP build and the full farming build. You'll be able to use this for any content you want to really do when it comes to maybe PvE content, not the PvP so much. I think that this build is really great when it comes to pushing your Paragon level and getting you into the higher difficulties, because it's just so powerful. So guys, you're going to be taking Blinding Storm for your skeletons, and this one is basically going to make your skeletons into Storm Riders. They're going to teleport to enemies and do damage with lightning skills. You're going to be taking Stallcrawler's Bones for your chest piece. This one is going to be for Pulse Armor. So when you use Bone Armor here, guys, if you're new to using Necro, you've got these skeletal armors, these summons up. If I've got more summons up and then use this, you can see it arcs around. All this here arcs around doing AoE damage. So if mobs are near you, they're going to be taking all of this AoE damage between you and your minions. It's really, really strong. Shoulders is still Synods, which gives you that 1 extra mage. Legs is still Graven Bulwark. Then you've got Pleasant Vellum for the Golem. So Golem now becomes a Poison Golem, which actually makes enemies take further damage from the blast wave of the Corrosive Acid. Really, really strong. Then for your offhand, you're going to be using Corrosive Slab. This is also for your Golem, which makes it takes more damage. So enemies that are going to be attacked by your Golem and any nearby enemies are going to be taking, here in this case, 15% more damage. The next main hand, you're going to be taking Wicked Husker. So this one is basically to make your bone armor, or your bone spear, sorry, destroy enemy armor for 3.2 seconds, and it increases the critical hit damage they take. So this one's really worthwhile, because as your summons are doing damage, you're going to be shooting out your primary, which is going to be increasing the damage that you can do. Then the offhand here is Crest of the Sky Fallen. This one is going to be for your Thunder Mage, which is now going to be called Thunder Mage instead of Skeletal Mage. They're going to be attacking with Chain Lightning, which is really, really strong. Now, as you work towards going through your dungeons and getting your new green items, you just want to be taking 2-piece Vifu's Urges, and then you want to be going for 6-piece Shepherds of Call of Walls. So this one is all for your summons to do increased damage and go put them into frenzy states. Guys, that is the 3 builds that you want to be using as you work towards going to your end game as a Necromancer. As I mentioned, when you get to end game, your builds are going to be somewhat different to what you've been using as you level up. You're leveling up, you're going to be using summons because they defend you very, very well. But as you progress into the end game content and the farming content, you're going to be taking a much different build. So here you'll see my farm build. There's a video for this on my channel, which I will link in the description. You're going to be taking a dungeon build. There's also a link for this in the description. You're going to be taking a raid build, and there is also a link for this in the description. When it comes to PvP, that's a completely different concept. I wouldn't worry too much about PvP as at the moment. If you do go into it and you do dabble in PvP, then it's do that. I think it's worthwhile to get that experience. But builds, really and truthfully, for PvP onwards, there's not many as a lower level player, because you want to wait to PvP until you're higher up in them Paragon levels, because you will just be sadly destroyed if you're not up to a sort of level you need to be at when it comes to your Paragon levels. But guys, this is the first episode of this new series that I'm putting together. Hopefully this video will be able to help some of you out when it comes to what you should be doing as a brand new player, as a Necromancer, building your character up to the level of, say, this character, it will take you many weeks and months to get it to the same strength as me. It's not easy, but you will see that as we progress through this series that I'm putting together, which is probably going to be about 10 episodes long. Going to be lots of knowledge thrown at you guys, but I think you're going to enjoy it. But guys, as always, if you like the content I bring, don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you are new and you do use Discord, jump into my Discord channel. We've got over 700 members there already now that are definitely willing to help you guys out with your builds, giving you tips and pointers on what you should be doing as you're going through the game. But guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.